Shambho Mahadev, Mahadev, Mahadev. Om Shanti. So in the causes of this affliction, or the cause of human sufferings, in this shloka the last item comes to fear of death, bhayam. Dvesha, abhinivesha, klesha, avidyasmadraga, abhinivesha. Fear of death. The fear of death, of clinging to life, is binding and stifling. Many who have been pronounced dead and were later revived have reported the experience of death as indescribably beautiful and peaceful. None can say when death will come. Fear of death is useless imagination, waste of energy, creates waves of pain which exists only in the mind. Is what Maharshi says about the fear of death. In fact, when you look at any kind of fear, all the fears will lead to the fear of death. You can take anything. If you continue with the fear, somebody doesn't have money, the fear of not having it, let's say fear of starving, then fear of disease, then fear of death. Like this, everyone will end, every fear will end in death only. I will not walk on the street because there can be an accident. If there is an accident, I will die. So when you look at the fear, any fears for that matter, they all lead to death. The person who has understood the death, this abhinivesham, this truth, the death is the truth. What is dying and who is dying has to be understood. None of the principles can die. None of the tattvas can die. None of the Atma can die. None of them, because they all are prevalent. From the number of years, from the inception of the universe, all these tattvas, principles are existing. That's why we call it as existence. That which is existing cannot die. So it has been classified that even the Atma cannot die. It's the mana and the sharira and the indriyas in that. Are the ones who are dying or merging with the Prakriti. Mrityu, death actually. Mritam, Amritam, Mritam. Amritam is that constant. That's Amritam. Amritam is constant, which is existing. Mritam is that which is not existing. It is not a loss or a gain. What we think is that he has lost his body. He has lost this. Somebody died. Died means the death is considered as a loss here. According to principles, there is no gain and loss in the universe. Even for the Atma, who is a witness, I told you the Sakshi Bhava. How the Sakshi Bhava comes, I think I have explained it. When that Sakshi Bhava is there, it cannot die. That which are the perceptions, or those are moving in front of the Atma for the purpose of experience, they exist for some time. After some time it doesn't exist. Doesn't exist in the sense, where is it going? Amritam, Mritam. Mritam is that which is not existing. If it is not, if it was existing, and now if it is not existing, where is it going? The Mritam is joining the Atmritam, Amritam. Mritam is merging into Amritam. That means every body, every Jivatma, every Sharira, every Indriya which is dying, which we call it as dying, which goes into the status of Mritam, it goes into the status of Amritam. Existence. It goes into the status of permanency. From that mortality, it goes to immortality. That's why mortal and immortal. Mritam, Amritam. Mortal, that which is movable, that which is not permanent, that which is only for some time, perishable and imperishable. That which is perishable, mortal or perishable or mritam, they are temporary. That's why it is perishable. Everybody knows it is perishable. That nobody expects that perishable to be imperishable at a point of time. But what happens? The perishable factor in the imperishable, the perishable factor, repeat, the perishable factor in the imperishable is dissolved into imperishable and disappears to the normal physical eyes, is called death or perishable. They exist, that means from the existence, from the non-existence towards the existence. Why it is known as non-existence? Because it is temporary. Whichever is temporary, whichever is anityam, will have to go into nityam. Every day and night has to pass. It goes to the next day and night, next year, next month, next year, next kala, next yuga, and beyond the yugas, it keeps on going. You see, they are all temporary. They are all perishable. Those which are perishable goes to ultimately to the imperishable. Where do they evaporate? The death happens. The tree is dying. Tree is drying up or falling. The insects are dying. The animals are dying. Human is dying. The body is disappearing, perished. Where are they disappearing at last? That which was there and moving and present and solid, which could be felt, which could be seen, and one day it is gone. Which is the truth out of it? This is the Dhyanam. Which is the truth? That which is seen for some time, or that which is there throughout? So it's very clear. That which is there throughout is that which is the truth. If that is the truth, that means that what is moving, that what is seen, that what is coming, and Jananam and Gamanam, they are all myth, they are all temporary, they are all for some time, for whatever purpose it is temporary. So in order to depending upon temporariness will be a foolishness. That is why attachment to the materialistic world, they called it. As I told you some time back, there is nothing called materialism or spiritualism. Everything is spiritualism only. Even the material formation is also a spiritualism. So there is nothing. When you go into deeper studies, there is no materialism, there is no spiritualism, nothing. Everything is meant for transformation. Everything has been transformed and came to this state. Formed and come to this state. The rock has been formed, the sand has been formed, many other things, the human body has been formed. Everything forms only for the purpose of transforming. The formation that is taken, that's why we call it as a formation. It makes a formation. How? You look at the cloud has made a formation looking like an elephant, looks like a dog. We sometimes see that shapes and forms. What do we call it as? It is formation. What is form? That's not permanent. It's because of the wind blowing in different directions, the clouds assimilating in particular shape and form by its own way, it appears to be something, is called a formation. You understood now? Formation. Body is a formation. Jiva is a formation. After some time, the elephant is gone, the dog is gone. Right? The wind again blown, and this formation has been transformed into some other form. This formation keeps on changing its form and shape. So the one who is keeping on changing the form and shape is ultimately, who is he? Who is this cloud who is changing shape and form? Who doesn't have a shape and form? So from the one who doesn't have a shape and form, the forms have been formed. So that Atma, he said, who is a witness, it doesn't. I told you how it is a witness. Recently only, last class I think explained about the water being drawn and used and not affecting the river not affecting. Same way, that which is a cause of the power in order to the Jivatma to experience through Mana and Sharira and Indriyas, has given the sustainability to the mind and Jivatma so that it can draw its power for the purpose of experimenting and experiencing and liberating itself from the cycle of birth and deaths, from the cycle of karma, akarma, vikarma. This is called Krama Mukti. This imperishable has to be understood. Everybody knows. As I told you that these are tattvas as great rahasya, great secrets are they. Because everybody, vachyartham is known to everybody. People also say, if we are born, we have to die. Everybody says that. Everyone knows that one is born, one has to die. That which has come, which has to go, it has to go. If it has come, it has to go. That which has not come, it will not go. That's all. These principles are known even to the child, no doubt. I don't have to say that. But how many of people are experiencing it, are really knowing it, in fact, you see. Even for those who are preaching about the death is nothing but everyone is preaching that. It's not that there are some. I think 100% people know about this. There's no 95% or 99%. So 100% of the people who are born, they all know they have to die. Even though they all know they have to die, the death is always a fearful activity for them. Whenever they think of death, they are scared, they are fearful. They feel it is a loss because of the fear of losing is the cause of fear of death. What is the fear of losing? What do you lose? The fear of losing the identity is the cause of fear of death. Fear of losing the identity. I will not be there. Suppose somebody says, you will die, tomorrow morning you will be born as king of somebody. Still he is scared because he doesn't want to lose his identity. Is the reason why the fear of death. So you can imagine how mean, how small, and how ignorant that person is who doesn't want to lose his identity, whereas he keeps on losing his identity from every day. Keeps on. At one point of time he was this, then he was this, then he was this, then he was this, then he is this, then he will be that also he knows. He keeps on losing the identity from each time he has been born. His shape and form has been kept on changing. Can anybody identify me who has seen me at the age of my 5 or 6? This has really happened. There was a gentleman who is no more there, now he died, a very elderly person. He saw me when I was about, maybe, I don't know, very, very young. He said, when I heard about your name, I can only figure you as you holding your mother's hand and standing by the side of her. Or whenever somebody calls you, you just go and hide behind the mother. You will not come. I used to go and hide, it seems. These exact words he has told me. He said, now, if I see you on the street, I can't make you out. Absolutely right. He's no more. He's passed away. He's a very elderly man. Because when we were young, he left for Bombay. He was with the planning commission. He was working with planning commission. An uncle of mine, actually, a cousin uncle of mine. So, what happened? The me who was there, whom supposed to be identified, after a few years of time, he says that you are not the same person who was holding mother's hand and hiding behind her. You are not the same person, you are somebody else. You see, our identity is lost every time. And who are you clinging on to? Which identity are you clinging on to? Your imaginary field of identity you are clinging on to. Which identity are you clinging on to? Could you cling on to any identity you desired? Well, everybody wants, I think, most of the people, except me, of course, most of the people want, they would like to grow younger. I don't want. I don't want. No? I wish I was so many years. They are struggling to look like that. Tell me honestly, are they not designed? The whole world, people are struggling to do that. Because of that, many, manufacturers of beauty products have become very rich people. Even if there is no food and there is no to eat, this has to be there. Because one would like to cling on to that identity. That identity. He doesn't want to lose it, scared of losing it. So he wants to pretend, even though he knows it is a pretension, but he still wants to, even if it is he wants to believe that he is clinging on to that particular identity. Is a human nature in the mind, you see, who doesn't recognize that death is nothing but From Mrita, I am going to Amrita. From impermanency, I am going to permanency. From perishability, I am going to imperishability. From the temporariness to permanence. From the chara to achara. This recognition, this identity recognition has to come. But you see the other way around. Everybody would like to keep on that identity. This crisis, this identity crisis, is the cause of fear of death. And one doesn't want to lose the identity. Now, whatever I say, whatever the Shastras say, whatever the Maharshi says, everybody would like to keep on that identity, whatever he thinks in his mind that this should be my identity. It's okay. Somebody wants to become old man, look like an old man. That is also his identity. That's also another identity. He wants to have an identity of that. Somebody wants to look young, it's an identity of him. Somebody wants to look like, I am told, only old and young. Now there are various things. I would like to be that, I would like to be rich, I would like to be this, I would like to cling on to that. Somebody who has lost everything, he still pretends to be that. Then he will keep on talking in his mind because his dream is only that. He'll keep on saying that, no, 16 years back, do you know where I was, how I was. He'll keep on staying there. We all talk about the good days you have spent. I'll say, oh, I was like this, I was like this, those days were like that. He doesn't want to. He derives a pleasure out of keeping that identity in himself. It's the root cause of that. He doesn't want to lose the identity of that. He would like to be that. So he keeps on remembering that. He would like to live in that identity. Because he thinks that's the identity which suits me better, or I would like to be there. So he doesn't want to lose that identity. The one who wants to lose, doesn't want to lose the identity, he has a fear of loss. He has a fear of loss. When there is a fear of loss, naturally the fear of death. Now you can imagine, after so much of struggle, imagining that and pretending that I am so and so, and I am so such and such, and once fine morning when death comes, how would it be? Recent, somebody died. He was telling me that I would have preferred dying when I was standing and walking without dependence. He wanted to die. He wanted to die when he was. I wanted to really be not like the lying down, but when I am active, when I am walking, when I am doing. No, I would have preferred to die. His identity, he would like to, it's not dying is important there. He is attaching himself that no, he will never be ill or lying down. He would always be walking. His identity to that walking status is that. It's a recent experience. The one who is dying, the one who knows he is dying, he says, I would like to stand up. So I told him that you can never stand up. Forget about it. That identity is no more there with you. So don't be an illusion. I told him that. Don't be an illusion. I will show you your picture in this mirror of life. Not the mirror which is created by Belgium glass. The mirror in my hand. In my hand there is a mirror. Do you know that? So I said, to see in this mirror. Crisis, identity, attachment towards that. That means attachment, attraction, possessiveness of that. Again, with various classification, various pariyas can be derived out of it, but the fear is the root cause, because the root cause of fear is because of losing the identity, losing the status. Means what's losing the identity, the position. The status of some in South India or many other places they will say the women want to die as Sumangali. when she is a Sumangali, she would like to die. No, that's just telling you this. Now, honestly telling me, what happened after death? Where is that Mangalyam? Where is this sense? I do not know. But there is a saying that, if she dies as a Sumangali, she goes to Swarga. It's a possibility. Why? Because what I could understand only that so long, because those days women never used to go out and work and all. They were all at home only. So probably when their husbands were there, they were all having a good life and peaceful life. And good, let us presume that happy life and plentiness was there, happiness was, support was there, and assistance was there, support was there and all that. So when, with all that, when it is there, when she dies, so she has no suffering, she need not to have to face these sufferings. But for man, they have never told that. That when the wife is alive, the man is dying, that he will go to Swarga now. Because whether with the wife or without wife, he is in the same state. So no bother. So that, see, that prescription is not, I'm not joking. Is it not? Tell me honestly. There's all. Why only Sumangali there? Shiva, Shiva, Shambho, Mahadeva. Yeah, think about it very seriously. Otherwise, after the death, neither this Sharira, this identity, this name, this position, this wifehood or this brotherhood or this sisterhood or this motherhood or whatever you call it, nothing has got going to remain with that Atma. Atma is a witness. It's not going to have that. Depending upon the Jiva Atma's experience when the evolution takes place, it takes another birth with the memories and the desires that person had while, that we know that how it happens about the rebirth. So what is the purpose? So many stories are there, many myths are there. But of course there are some, according to Manusmriti and other Smritis, there are practical reasons for that at one point. As I told you, that may be the reason why the security, depending upon the security and safety and the performance of the life, it has had a different type of life. So that's why Sumangali. So those things are there. First of all, nowadays it is not. I don't think it is. It's effective to that extent. So Mangalyam, it is not effective. Mangalyam, I'll die. So death, you see, how many kinds, what I am trying to express myself, I am not proving something wrong. They are right at that point of time. Every era, the practices, the rituals and the practices that has been followed had its own practical basis of experience, that's all. They are not permanent, they are changeable. Those things are all changeable, nothing is firm. They have to be changed. Depending upon the time and era, things have to be changed, then only this function can be done. So the death, the fear of the death, is absolutely, as Swamiji says here, is absolutely an illusion or an imagination. The fear is an imagination. Has to be, see, everything has to perish. As we have seen, as I told you, that we have changed our shape and form. The same thing has to happen. Everything that has been created has to damage. If some metal is there, if it is rust, if it is steel and other things, it has to get rusted and then it has to vanish. If it is something else, it will also again crush and vanish. If it is a wood, it will have to fall down. One day it has to felled and it has to be lost. Fruits and flowers have to be lost. Human body has to be lost. Because when the growth takes place, so when the evolution takes place, they are all meant for Amrtatvam. everything is leading to Amrtatva. Everything is leading to the permanency. Everything is leading to existence. So when we have the non-existence, the status of non-existence, why? One is not permanent. See, are we sure of anything? Anything? Forget about this particular thing. No. Are we sure of anything? Tell me, have anybody seriously thought of it? Are we sure of anything for that matter? Anything? This time, this kala, this age, this sharira, this, no, this, that. Anything are we sure? Sure. Out of practices and out of inference, yesterday it was like this, so today it may be like this, is an imagination, that's all. Only that through imaginations only one is traveling towards life. We are not sure of anything. That means we are in the status of non-existence. We are not sure of anything. From the not sure of anything status to the absolutely sure of something is where we are traveling to. So in the status of non-existence or in the status of temporariness, what is to be done? We have to find out ways and means to be permanent so that the impermanency is lost and permanency is gained. So when impermanency is lost and permanency is gained, we don't call impermanency as lost. We will only say that permanency is gained, that's all. Because it is not a loss. Same way, if that is not a loss, that means death is not a loss. Death is a gain. No? What's a gain? He goes to permanency. So during how we can be sure of permanency? Depending upon the karma that you are executing during the impermanent status, depending upon the grounds that you are making during the impermanent status, depending upon the foundation you are laying through the impermanent status, you have permanency, duration of permanency based on that. So during the impermanent state, during the temporary state, non-existent state, perishable state, what you should do? You should do such activities that you don't perish, you become imperishable. You don't stay in the non-existent states, you would like to be in the existent state. From the impermanent state to permanent state. So while you are in state of impermanency, you try to become permanent, is it not? Impermanency is the body and mind. When you have got body, sharira, they are perishable, so impermanent. So when you have got that impermanent status, you should exercise yourself for the permanent status. Simple example again. Somebody got a job. There is a probationary period. 3 months, 6 months, 1 year. For that child or that young man or young woman, whoever is he or she, whenever somebody meets that person at that point of time, have you become permanent? Is the question asked, is it not? Is your job permanent? Temporary? Oh my God, temporary only. Oh, then it's a problem. Then you look for something permanent. No? Government jobs are supposed to be permanent. I mean, not that permanency, here, bhautika permanency. Okay. You should look for a government job so that permanency is there. You won't lose the job. So that means, what you are saying indirectly, that which is losable, that which is to be lost, you should not choose it. You should choose that which cannot be lost. Maharshi is also saying the same thing. Nothing different. Now is it easy to understand? No? You are from the impermanency state, go for a somewhere permanent you should be. दो पैसा कम मिलने से भी ठीक है. Permanency should be. It has got sense. Same way in our life, दो पैसा कम होने से भी कोई बात नहीं है. Little pleasure is less, little inconvenience is less, doesn't matter. Be in the status of meditation, be in the status of samarpana bhava and what is it? Upasana and Nidhyasana. So you may not have some of the materialistic pleasures, doesn't matter, at least you will reach permanency. दो पैसा कम होने से भी permanent होना चाहिए. Same I am translating into spirituality, that's all, nothing other than that. We are all talking about a permanency. In every way we talk about permanency. Are you in a rented house? You must have your own house. Permanency. Yeah? All looking for permanency. Am I right? The human character itself is meant for from impermanency to permanency. Look for from a rented house to the permanent house, from a temporary job to a permanent job. Shadi, they could not make it today. The old days, people, they said permanent. Once it has happened, so that was the basic. It is permanent. But today it is not that. So we cannot tell that as example. So I have to change that. Now, what I am trying, jokes apart, what I am trying to tell you is that the human mind, I mean, the knowledge itself, this is not learned in the schools. This is not learned from the books. This is not learned from anywhere, from the childhood. He is looking for permanency always. Do you want to change from one place to that? No. So many years I had been living here. Whether it is dirty or whether it is good, now I am used to it. That shop is familiar to me, that Chandulal is familiar to me. Rasikalal is familiar to me, even though they are chores. Familiar to me, so let me live here. That's what. What is that? Would like to be permanent. He's looking for permanent. Now, new place is much better. This, that. No. I don't think I'll be able to adjust myself to that, because it's temporary. He loses his identity here. He is scared of going to new place. A new place, new house, new this, new that, new environment, new situation. Everything one thinks quite a lot, because losing identity. On one side losing identity, on second side looking for permanency so that I don't have to change again. Everybody wants that. Looking for permanency. That is the nature that is inherited from the Prakriti in a human being. That is there from the day you are born. You would like to go for the permanency. This permanency is known as that everyone is born for, getting liberated from this life. Getting liberated in the sense what? Liberated from the temporary status to permanent status. Getting liberated from impermanency to permanency. Getting liberated from the perishable to imperishable. Chara to achara. I don't have to move around unnecessarily looking for when will I die, when will I live, when will I do nothing. There is neither birth nor death. A state where I will not have to do any action on that. There are no worries, because only worries are there only because we have got birth and death. In between only these worries. No, I have got very short time, life is very short. There are so many words people use. Life is very short, you should do this, you should do that, you should do that, you should do this. See, the basis of everything when you look at it, even the talks, do this faster, there is no time. What is your age? You must do this now. When will you do it? When can, See, every conversation, every incident, now when you analyze like this, I've just told you few examples. Now you analyze each and every sentence you are talking, common language you are talking every day. You will find that you're looking for permanency. You would like to change from this temporary status to permanent status. You want liberation from that status. What are you doing? Better go. You want to have liberation from here. Where to go? There. From there to go? Where? No? Permanency. Looking for permanency. Each and every conversation, each and every activity, every karma, every function, eating, drinking, sleeping, everything is meant for looking for death. Now, let me put it that way. Looking for death, that means liberation from life, and people are scared of death. On one side you are looking for liberation from the living, on the other side you are scared of death. You understood what I am saying? Yes. So that's why Swamiji said it is imaginary. What are we looking for? We are looking for death actually. We are working towards death. We want death. We want to get liberation from here. From life and living, what is liberation? Death only. Death is the activity which liberates you from the living to non-living. That non-living is called the permanency. Living is temporary. Living is only for some time. So beyond the time and space you go, that's called the death. Is one to be scared of? That's very imaginary. So he also says that people who had death, who had pronounced dead and came back to their senses, have explained to others that is the beautiful experience, out of world, we call it out of world, what is that? Out of world experience. That means in the world you cannot have that experience. We all say that, no, I'm not telling the new word. We all say out of world experience. That means in this world, only you are living. So that means when I am living, I cannot have that beautiful experience. Only after death I can have that experience. Is out of the world experience. What's that again? Again looking for death. Again looking for permanency. There, that experience is out of world. In this world, that experience cannot happen. Is what exactly some people who experience that near-death experience, we explain this. Near-death experience people have explained that the death is the most beautiful and peaceful event in the life. The last breath is the most beautiful breath, most peaceful breath, so that you don't have to breathe again. Unnecessarily nostrils will go big and again come down. Lungs will go big and again come. Why all these problems? Stable, beautiful, out-of-world experience. Now whenever people talk about out-of-world experience, you should remember this. We all talk unconsciously about this. No? That means we only expected that this is the maximum, the pleasure that you get. The pleasure only. No? So there, out-of-world pleasure only we say. Oh, this is out-of-world pain. Has anybody told? Think about it, I'm just analyzing, you see, contemplating. We only said when it is happiness, we said out-of-world experience. But when there is too much of pain, have you said that? Then what did you say? Hell of a pain. What did you say? Hell of pain. See? What is that pain? Pain is hell here. Where there is pain, that is called hell. Where there is pleasure, that is out of the world, not in this world. In this world, you cannot have that permanent experience of happiness. That is not. This is very true in our statement, in normal conversation itself. This is the meaning of it. The permanency only can bring you that absolute ecstasy of the life. That's a transformed state. See, that's death. So he says that the fear of death is imaginary and illusionary and unnecessary. People are scared of. Fear means fear of. Fear is a scare. Fear is a trouble. Fear is a pain. Fear is a pain actually. Fear is a scarcity. Fear is incapability. Fear numbs your brain function. Fear makes you immovable. Fear makes you non-functional actually. You're stuck. He said, shocked by pain, shocked by this one, fear. Shock of fear, shocked. That means immovable. You become immovable, you become, you cannot think at that time. You become absolutely dumb. There's no more thinking process going on. You are that. Is this shock? Is that fear? The fear has all that bad call from where? Why? Because fear is pain. Fear is that shock. Fear is that immovability. Fear is that all this. They all happen where? What is actually fear? What is actually fear? Apple, mango, jackfruit, fear. All this can be seen, fear cannot be seen. Fear is an illusion, imaginary emotion that you have. Bhiti bhava. That's all. Bhiti bhava. It's an imagination, it's only bhavana. It is bhava. It's bhiti bhava. It can be used only for the dance purpose, that's all. Bhiti bhava. Kathakali. It's very nicely. That bhiti bhava can be seen there. It's a bhava, it's only an imagination, it's an emotion. Emotion is created by you, by the circumstances you create, you get scared of that. That's why Ishavasya Upanishad said, the snake and the rope. Whole night could not sleep because it kept on moving. Oh my God. When will that snake come and bite me? How to sleep now? Morning he saw, it was simple. Rope which you threw out yesterday from the gift wrap somebody gave you, that one has been thrown and it was unfortunately stuck in that window grill and it is moving like this. Oh, let's. Morning you look at your, you think of your condition in the morning when you saw that it was not a snake and it's a rope. Oh my God, that's it. Yes. What happened? Unnecessarily I did not see it, pissed off. I could have slept very well. Bad, I thought this. Who will tell you? You only thought. Imagination, you see. How beautifully Upanishad explained about the snake and ropes. It happens to us now. We all have thought that. Something, no, you assume it as something else, an imagination. That imagination is called fear. Bhava. No? It is a bhiti bhava. It's a bhavana only, it's a thought only. Thought has not to be taken for granted, because it's imagination. It's out of various of your imaginations, emotions. You created a base, unnecessary base out of it, and then started thinking, which doesn't have a firm base on that. Bhiti. Bhayam is not necessary at all. Bhayam is totally imaginary. Bhayam. Nothing other than that. Bhayam is imaginary. Bhayam is coming from the thought. On the road when you walk, somebody walks and then the vehicle comes and hits him and he dies. Finished, that's okay. But the thinking of that, if I walk on the road and something will come and hit me, that will be most troublesome than actually dying. Is it not? So bhiti is bhavana. At the time of death, the bhiti is not there. Bhayam is not there. Bhayam is gone at that time. Once you are sure of something, you don't have bhayam. This is what is going to happen. You don't have bhaya. Fear is not there. Because you are not sure of something, you got bhaya. When you are not sure of something, that means it is what? Avidya, ignorance. What is the cause of the bhayam? Avidya. Ignorance is the cause of bhayam. Bhayam is the cause of the fear of death. Bhayam of the mrita. Mrityu. Bhayam of mrityu is what? Absolutely illusionary. In fact, one should be scared of being born. Luckily, those days we were infants and we didn't have the power of this, the attachment of this worldly attachment of attraction and attachment and desires. So this bhiti was not there. Bhayam was not there while we were born. But having experienced the life, people who have not experienced the life in the right manner, only having imaginary way of living, imaginary way of losing, everything is imagination only. They only have this death. They only have this fear. So fear of death, what he says is that is the most clinging onto life is binding and stifling. Everybody knows that nobody can cling on to life forever. It's not possible. But still that desire is there to cling on to life. That to cling on life is an expectation. That expectation creates a result of permanency, is why you have fear of death, thinking that this will become impermanent. Thinking that this will become impermanent. So many who have been pronounced dead, yes, we have told experience of death as indescribably beautiful and peaceful. Well, whether it is beautiful or not, we don't know, but it is definitely peaceful. The peace is there, everything is beautiful. That's all. Mind becomes absolutely peaceful. Doesn't look for the beauty or the ugliness. When it is peaceful, when the mind is peaceful, does it look for beauty or ugliness? In a particular state you are peaceful, you don't think that something which is there in front of you is beautiful or ugly. You are peaceful. Everything is based on your mind. Everything is based on your peace. Everything is based on your experience and the right experience. So have the right experience. That's why I said, throughout the process of living, what should be your aim? Your aim should be for liberation to permanency, amritattvam. Your aim should be towards permanency or amritattvam. For that, what is necessary should be done so that you will be happy out of the world. When you work here for your peace, the life is meant for experimenting and experiencing towards the peace and permanency. And if you work for peace and permanency throughout your life, you will become permanent and peaceful. But throughout your life, you expect that you will get permanency, or you will get amritattvam from the perishable pleasures of this life. Then you will be stuck in the perishable, not in the imperishable. There will be no permanency there. You will be impermanent again. You may go through the permanency only to become impermanent once again. You may think you are in permanency, but you come back to impermanency again. You may become imperishable for some time because the sharira is gone, so you think you have become imperishable, but within a fraction of a moment you will acquire another sharira, the perishable, and will come back in order to experience. So your expectations and experience and your knowledge, your Dhyanam during the process of your living should be to reach that permanency, to reach that liberation. That's called liberation from this life. Everybody is functioning only, I told you this, from the inception of the classes I must be telling this. Everybody is born and functioning only for the purpose of liberation from the life. Not to live, but to get liberated from the life. And living, when it is life and living. To get liberated from the living is why one is functioning. Our aim should be that. You should know this is the goal. When you have set up your goal, everybody says that no, you should set up your target. You should set management technique. You should set up your target. And after setting up your target, you should prepare your process how you will attain that. Periodically, the availability of materials, availability of your functions, your availability of activities and actions, so that you travel towards that target, that aim, that what is that? Goal. Goal. That's why in football and hockey and all that they call goal. So many boys, both the sides, 90 minutes they are running, sweating, kicking, falling down, breaking their legs, and all for what? To reach the ball to the goal. After the goal he is happy. Now no more running. I'm telling you every example. See, now the whole life is that. What I am trying to tell you, the whole life is a replica of living and then going for their permanency. That's all. This is what I am trying to tell you. You struggle with a hockey or a football, whatever you call it. You struggle. What for? To goal a ball. So you achieve. You have to reach the goal. This boy is running from this end of the court to the other end of the court only to reach the goal post and attain a goal. This way that is also known as a goal. We are all living for reaching that goal post and goal. Somebody reaches the goal post but doesn't go and come back. They come back again. What happens if he doesn't? He has to come back again. There's a penalty also. All the terms are there in the game, you see. There's a penalty also. If you make foul, you have a penalty. If you foul living, you have a penalty. You have to have a rebirth and experience it again. Then what are penalty is what? Experiencing it again. You see, compare everything. That's why I said, look at each and every event of your life. I think this much of explanation is, it gives you a clear concept of death is beautiful. We are all struggling towards that. But that struggle should be perfect. A person who really with the planning, he passes the ball in the right direction to the right person, and then to this one, the fast forward, and he goes with the ball and he kicks a goal. You have to have a lot of planning and you should go only in the path. Don't deviate from here and there. This fellow will be shouting, this fellow will be kicking, that fellow will be kicking, doesn't matter. I may get little pains and aches, doesn't matter. He falls down, he gets up again and again goes to the goal only. Our life is that football game. From the day we are born, you have to run, kick and kick. Let others, whatever they want, okay. The others are all supports. There are so many supports, there are so many obstacles. In your team, you got to support the opposite team, you got an obstacle. So you got a support, you got obstacles. Forget, we are not worried about obstacles with our team and our support. We have to penetrate into and remove the obstacles, get into that. Is how you should live in your life as a football game, is what I'm saying. So in this what happens? Whatever struggle it may be, you may not have pleasure. Now while doing football game, you cannot look at the gallery and how much crowd is there. Are they clapping for me? He will lose his. Or if the side by my supporters who are on the right and left corner and the other side mid, this one, forward. They are all supporting me, or how are they functioning? Or you look at them, how they are playing, and keep on concentrating on that. You lose your game. You take the support of them, but your focus should be on your game. You take the support for what? For making you reach the goal. Same way in our life from the small only. You should take that support only that take you to the goal. No other support. Somebody will call, hey, Ramu, इस तरफ देखो, have a glass of water, उसके बाद में खेलना. Lost his ball. No? Cannot go in between the game. He cannot go and have a glass of water. He has to go thirsty till the break. He has to sweat. He has to go thirsty. He has to go out of breath. But he has to play. In our life, we have to lose all our pleasures, what we are thinking, the worldly pleasures. That this will give me pleasure, this will give me a little more money, this will give me that. No, your focus should be on the studies of the Shastras. You have to understand the Brahma Tattvam, Brahma Dhyanam, which is the path towards reaching you to the goal of permanency, which is reaching you to the path towards liberation from the activity. Everyone looks for liberation from the activity. The football game is also played for winning or losing and finish the game. What are they doing? To finish the game. Everything, every function, every activity in our life is meant for liberation from this life. Liberation is the only responsibility of yours. This I had been talking so many times, I think. We call about responsibilities for many things. It's okay. For the purpose of understanding, it is right. For the Grihastha Jivan, it is always, Manusmriti says, use that word, doesn't matter. But that is not the truth. The true responsibility is to liberate yourself properly and go to the permanency, merging with the Brahman is the true. True activity in your life, true function in your life, true aim of your life for the purpose of liberation. So your understanding of the ways, first of all, a man should know how the game is played before getting into the field. He has to study. Theoretically, he should know the game. Then he has to tone up his body in order to attain. I'm just telling you an example. Tone up his body to take the stress of, constant stress of 90 minutes with one break, of course. 90 minutes he has to run. He has to be alert. His mind cannot be anywhere else. His body cannot be anywhere else. He looks only at the ball. He doesn't see anything else, like Arjuna seeing the eye of the fish. His eyes are only on the ball. Whole 90 minutes he should be seeing only the ball and where he has to take care of it. Which way it is being traveling, so how he has to maneuver that and take it. Our life should be like that. From the day one, our eyes should be focused on the right way of living, right way of karmas. That's our God. That's what we are supposed to carry with. So through that karma, we have to carry ourselves in the right path and right manner without deviating the path from the Brahma Vidya, Brahma Jnanam through a guru. That's why a coach is there. He only teaches all these things. The coach is there. And sometimes he shouts from there. There's no problem for him. He can shout anytime. In between, hey, yeah, there. So he will shout from there. He is allowed, Guru is there. He can shout. You are doing wrong. You do this way. You do this. You do this. And you follow him. He is the one who is the witness, who is looking at you, how you are functioning. You are involved in functioning. You do not know how you are functioning. The one who is looking at you, how you are functioning. You may think you are on the right way. Why this man is telling, I was going right. But he is telling, don't go there, you go here. No, he only knows where you have to go. He is seeing overall everything. He knows from the beginning to the end how it has to be moved. He knows how it is to be travelled. He knows where is the opposition standing, where is the obstacle standing. Even though you are thinking that you are going in the right path, he knows where is the obstacle standing if you go that way. He knows how you are moving, what speed you are moving. You are too fast, go slow. Or you are slow, go fast. Whatever it is. Are you getting it? No. Just telling you, giving you a picture of living. So Guru guides you and takes you towards that. But that's why they say Guru takes you towards the goal. He is not playing. He is mentally playing with you. In fact, he is really playing. He is the one who is really playing, not you. Because he is the one who is really playing your life. He is living your life. He has to experience his man's movement. No. He has to experience your life. Then he says, here it is wrong, here it is wrong, here it is wrong, here it is right, you go this way. So teaches you how to go through the life. He is experiencing your life, and don't think that he is telling out of, as a witness he is talking. No, he is, even though he is a witness, he knows exactly where you are. He is living in your life. He knows exactly what is happening in your life and teaches you and guides you, because he only can guide you because he knows your life. And he is not involved in the activities, whereas he is living with you. You are involved in the activity even though you are living. He is involved in your activity but not living. He is not involved in your activity, but he is living with you. Is how he is guiding you towards the goal. He is able to guide you towards the goal. So what you have to do? Blindly follow is called Samarpanam. Blindly follow what he is telling from the gallery. It's okay, standing there. Only with you. That's why he is always with you. We say that, no, Guru is always with you. Why? He is with you. He sees each and every step, movement you are making. He sees. He is with you. And he knows each step how you are putting. And he says this step was wrong. And even if he could not do directly there, sometimes during the break he says, look, this is what you are doing. This is what you are supposed to. The coach will, whether it is any game for that matter, tennis or football or he coaches you. That's why he's a coach. He coaches you to liberate yourself from the game. What is coaching you? How to liberate yourself from the game successfully. Same way the Guru is teaching you to liberate yourself successfully from this life, playing the right game. What's the game here? The game is that. That's called Samarpana Bhava. Just believe him. So Samarpanam. After Samarpanam, Upasana. What he said only will be done. Upasana. Nididhyasana, being with the same thoughts. Before he thought, he has already, during his practice of Samarpanam and Upasana, he has already linked with the thought of the Guru. Before he thought or while he is thinking, he gets information. So I thought and he moved the same way. You all tell now? I thought he moved the same way. I thought he did the same thing. Is it? What is that? Synchronizing, linking. That can happen. This is called Nididhyasana. And through that Nididhyasana, naturally when it is happening, all this are happening, what happens? You become that. Liberate yourself. So, do you have the fear of death? You have to have the fear of death? No, not at all. It's imagination, it is illusionary, it's absolutely because of your egoistic, pure egoistic attachment to attraction to the pleasures, imaginary pleasures of this Mayaik world, is that the creation of fear has taken place in you. So that fear of death should not be there. Achievement. Your problem is not to unnecessarily fear of when will death come, how will die, whether I will stand up and die, or sitting and die, lying die. No, this is what we are bothered about, you see. How silly, don't you think that? When you identify, don't you think it is so silly? Death comes death. After dying, that nobody knows what happened, wherever you die. Instead of worrying about the death and losing your time and then losing your balance, because you are always in the shock of death, so your brain doesn't function, your thoughts will not function, your activities will not function, your karmas you cannot experience in the right manner. All these things will happen. Instead, put your thoughts and functions to live dharmically. Live dharmically as it has been prescribed, renouncing the unwanted pleasures, imaginary pleasures and pains of this world, which takes you round and round in the Mayaik world. You identify them, have the power of discrimination, identify them, walk through the path that has been prescribed through the Brahma Vidya, Brahma Dhyanam, so that you can experiment and experience your karmas and renounce your karma phalas without getting affected into it, and reach towards the liberation of this living, and the life is transformed into permanency. Dharmic way of living is a principle. The whole Ramayana is explaining only about dharmic way of living. That's it. Dharmam Chara is what Ramayana sees. Through the Puranas, this principle of what all the Maharishis and Tapasis have created so much of material for us, so much of facilities for us to learn and walk through this life beautifully well. You imagine one thing, when you are living, if you are really conscious, not knowing, if you are conscious, that means your thought, your deeds, everything, it is sunk into that thought, that suppose while you are living, you are conscious about being with the Brahman after some time of execution of my karmas. How beautiful my journey would be during the process of execution of karmas. Any karmas I do, I will not get attached to it. Nahi. Suppose you have to reach from your house to here, satsang. You have to reach here at such and such time. Whatever happens in between, whatever emergency is there, whatever is no, I have to reach there. After that only, you will listen. You will see that. But what happened? Your focus is all only towards that. How pleasant it would be. The same way, if you follow that path, the dharmic path, so you know each and every step you are walking through, you will not get entangled with the karma phalas of the karma that you are executing. No, I am not coming, I am not doing, I am not thinking now, I am going to there, I am going there, I can't think anything now, I can't talk to you now, I can't behave, no, nothing. What? Neti, renunciation. Through renunciation, you reach the destination. Each and everything that you see and get attracted to, you never reach the destination. Dharmic way of Ramayanam, and through the epics, through the Puranas and the thing, this is what is being taught to us, so that you follow that path. That's what I'm saying. Suppose you know even now that you are traveling towards that Brahman, let me walk on that. But these pleasures and other things they are all movies of 2.5 hours. 2 hours. With advertisement, 2.5 hours. They are all movies of 2.5 hours. You pay for it and see that, and then come back and to say that they are not, they are fictions. To say that, you have to spend that money, you have to spend that time and come back in the same position or little backward, again travel. In between the movie has come. Movie is what chara. When you are doing it, acharya, you are entangled with that. So, any amount of examples I have given you, so what should be done? Just do the dharmic way of living, so that to attain that Brahma. It's a pleasant feeling. so that you don't have to get entangled with the expected results. For that, you renounce those imaginary pleasures and pains, follow the path of the scriptures that has been provided by great knowledgeable people, great honored, revered Maharishis and Tapasvis who only wanted the happiness and upbringing of the crowd, of the universe, of the people who are living. Their intention was only that. For that purpose this has been created and been kept for you. So you follow that through the Guru Mukha. You get this explanation from the Guru Mukha only. So to understand that, walk in that path with dedication and devotion is called Samarpana and Shraddha. Samarpana and Upasana, Shraddha and Bhakti, so that it is easy for you to reach the status of liberation, the goal of your life. Om Shanti. You reach the goal. No more to nothing more to talk. Nothing more to talk. Om Shanti. Shiva Shiva, Shiva Shiva.